Good morning, children. Today we shall see chapter 9, direct proportion and inverse proportion. What is direct and inverse we shall see later. First let us see what is proportion. Proportion is ratio, and you have already learned how to compare two numbers and write them in the form of ratio. Now let us see. I have a circle. I have drawn one diameter. Okay. Again I have a circle and I have drawn two diameters. Again I draw a circle and I have drawn four diameters. Okay. Now let us see how to write the ratio of number of diameters to the number of parts that have been created. I repeat, we are going to write the ratio. What is ratio? Comparing two given quantities. Okay. Now which are the two quantities that we are looking at over here? The number of diameters to the number of parts that have been created. So if you look at the first diagram, we see that how many diameters are there? One diameter. How many parts have been created? Two. In the second diagram we have two diameters and how many parts have been created? Four. In the third diagram, how many diameters we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 diameters. And how many parts it has been created? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 parts have been created. Okay. Now you look at these ratios that we have written over here. 1 upon 2, 2 upon 4, 4 upon 8. I wanted to look at the numerators. 1, 2, 4. We can see that it is increasing. 1 has been increased to 2, 2 have been increased to 4. Look at the denominators. 2 have been increased to 4, 4 have been increased to 8. If you look at it, you can see that as the numerators are increasing, the denominators are also increasing. I repeat, as the numerators are increasing, the denominators are also increasing. Okay, please keep that in mind. That is the first point. As the numerators or as the one quantity increasing, the second quantity is also increasing. Now, can I write this? Okay, when you look at 2 upon 4, you know that this is in the ratio form. And when we write ratio form, we have to write to the lowest form. You can see that there is something common in 2 and 4. What is common? 2 is common. So if I remove the 2, what will I get? 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. We will get 1 upon 2. Again you look at 4 upon 8. Again you can see there is something common in both of them. You remove 2. So what will you get over here? 2 twos are 4. In 8, 4 twos are 8. Again you can see 2 is common. So you will get 1 2 is 2 and 2 twos are 4. So what are you ending up over here? 1 upon 2. Here also 1 upon 2. Here also 1 upon 2. So can you see that the ratio is constant? So I can write that 1 upon 2 is equal to 2 upon 4 is equal to 4 upon 8. We have already learned that these are equivalent fractions. That is fractions with equal values. Because when you remove whatever is common, you see that the value is always 1 upon 2. So that is the second point that you have to take note of. Okay, what was the first point? First point I told you, as the numerator is increasing, the denominator also is increasing. That is, as the number of diameters are increasing, the number of parts have been created also increased. Second point, the ratio is constant throughout. Such type of proportion or such type of ratio are called as direct proportion. Why are they called as direct proportion? As one quantity is increasing, the other quantity also is increasing. and the ratio remains constant. So these are the two main criteria for direct proportion. I repeat, the first one, the ratio remains constant. Second, as one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases. And I want you to write it down. Please write it down. In direct proportion, the ratio is constant. And as one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases. Okay. Now, suppose you are going to, let us look at another example. You want to purchase some notebooks. The cost of one notebook is 10 rupees. Okay, you are going to purchase some notebooks. Cost of one notebook is 10 rupees. Now, let us write the ratio of number of notebooks to the cost or to the amount that you have paid. What ratio are we going to write? Number of notebooks to the amount that you have paid or to the cost. Okay. Suppose you have purchased 2 notebooks. So what is the amount that you have paid? One notebook cost is 10 rupees. So if you have purchased 2, how much will you pay? 20 rupees. Suppose you have purchased 3. How much will you pay? 30 rupees. Suppose you have purchased 10. So how much will you pay? 100 rupees. Okay. Now, we have to see whether this is a direct proportion. How do we check whether this is a direct proportion? First, look at the numerators. Are the numerators increasing? What do we have in the numerators? Number of notebooks. Are they increasing? Yes. 2 to 3, 3 to 10. They are increasing. What happened to the cost? Cost also is increasing. As the number of notebooks are increasing, the cost also is increasing. Therefore, this is a direct proportion. Look at the ratio. Is the ratio constant? We know that 2 is common in both. So, if we cancel, you get 1 upon 10. 3 is common, you get 1 upon 10. 10 is common, you get 1 upon 10. You can see that 1 upon 10, 1 upon 10, 1 upon 10. Therefore, the ratio also is constant. Therefore, this also is an example of direct proportion. Now, when the questions are given to us, we must try to understand whether it is a direct proportion or it is an inverse proportion. That we will see later. First, we have to look at whether the given proportion is a direct proportion. That is, if one quantity, like if you are going to purchase something, the number increases, the cost also increases. Suppose you are going to buy some chocolate. More chocolate you purchase, more amount you have to give, isn't it? So, one quantity is increasing, the other quantity is also increasing. These are the examples of direct proportion. Okay. Let us look at some examples. The examples like, if more students, the collection is more. Such type of examples come in direct proportion. That is, one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases. Okay. We shall solve practice set 37. The first question. If 7 kg onions cost rupees 140, 7 kg onions cost rupees 140, how much we pay for 12 kg onion? 7 kg cost this much, that is 140. 12 kg how much? Is it a direct proportion? Yes. The more we want, more we have to pay. Okay, so it is a direct proportion. How do we solve it? First, we have to identify whether the given question belongs to a direct proportion. That is how you have to think and see. That if you are going to purchase 7 kg onion this much, and if you want to buy 12 kg, naturally you have to pay more amount. So it comes under direct proportion. Now, how do we write the steps for it? Whatever we are supposed to find out, what are they asking us to find out? How much we pay for 12 kg onion. So we don't know how much we are going to pay for 12 kg onion. So that is what we are supposed to find out. So whatever we are supposed to find out, we consider it as X. Okay. So we will say that let the cost of 12 kg onions be X. Okay. So first step will be, let the cost of 12 kg onion equal to rupees X. Let the cost of 12 kg onion equal to rupees X. This is what we have to find out. Second step, we have to identify whether this is a direct proportion. So we have to write the statement. So this is a direct proportion. This is very important. Okay, that means you have identified what type of proportion it is. If this is a direct proportion, what do you know about it? The ratio remains constant. Now what is the ratio? It is the number of kgs to the cost. Now what is given to us? 7 kg cost 140 rupees and 12 kgs cost, how much, how do you say? X. So 12 kgs cost X rupees. This ratio has to be written in the proper manner. That is, if you are considering then kgs, the kilogram in the numerator, it should be same both the sides. Okay. Then you consider the cost in the denominator. Now you have written the ratio because you have said the ratio is constant. Why the ratio is constant? Because this is a direct proportion. Therefore, the ratio remains constant. And what is the ratio? Kg upon cost. Kg upon cost. This is same. Okay. Now, how do we solve it? What are we supposed to find? We have to find the value of X. Now, we do the cross multiplication. I don't want anyone to draw it. I'm just showing to you. Okay. We do cross multiplication. That is, this denominator will go to this numerator. And this denominator will come to this numerator. Please don't draw it. You have to do it in your mind. Okay. So if this denominator comes to this numerator, you get it as 7x equal to 12. And this denominator is coming to this numerator. Again, what are we supposed to find? We have to find the value of x. So keep only x over here. So what do we have over here? 12 into 140 divided by 7. So what is the answer? 7 ones are 7 and 14 2 times 20. So you will get it as 240. Therefore, please write the concluding statement. Therefore, what is our x? The cost of 12 kg onions. For word problems, concluding statements are compulsory. So please write the concluding statement over here. Therefore, 12 kg onions cost rupees 240. That is 240. I repeat. Therefore, 12 kg onions cost rupees 240. Okay. Steps are same for all the questions. First, whatever have been asked to you, consider that as x. Second, write whether this is a direct proportion. Third, if it is a direct proportion, ratio remains constant. Therefore, next step, write the ratio, find the value of the x. Let us look at the second question. If 600 rupees buy 15 bunches of feed, how many will 1280 rupees buy? I repeat, 600 rupees buy 15 bunches of feed. So 600 rupees you are getting 15 bunches. Then how many bunches will you get in 1280? Surely you will get more bunches. So this is a direct proportion. So what should be as x be? X is what we are supposed to find out. Okay. So how do we write the first statement? Let the number of bunches we get in 1280 be x. I repeat. Let the number of bunches we get in 1280 rupees be X. Next step, this is a direct proportion. Third, therefore the ratio remains constant. Now what is a ratio over here? A ratio is 15 bunches you have to pay 600 rupees equal to. And now you do not know, so you have considered as X bunches you will be getting 1280. X bunches you will be getting. Now next step, cross multiply, because we have to find the value of X. So this denominator will come to this numerator, this will go over here. So what are you getting over here? 15 into 1280 is equal to X into 600. You have to get the value of X, so keep only X one side. So this whatever is there will come over here, that will come in the denominator. So again you have 15 into 1280 upon 600 is equal to X. Cancel this 0. And I suppose remaining calculation you can do. 15 comes in 60. 60 comes in 15 stable. So you can cancel that and that will get cancelled over here. You will get the number. Okay. Therefore, you have to write the concluding statement. Therefore, whatever answer you get over here, so many bunches will be getting in 1280. I suppose this cancellation is clear to you. 60, 0 and 0 got cancelled. 60 comes in 15 stable. So check out how many times. And that number will get cancelled in 128. That is how you do the calculations over here. Third one. For 9 cows, 13 kg 500 gram. Now 13 kg 500 gram food supplement are required every day. In the same proportion, how much will be needed for 12 cows? It is like for 2 children, this much food we have to give. So 10 children, how much? Surely it is more, isn't it? So this is a direct proportion. How do we solve it? What are we supposed to find out? We have to consider it as X. So what we will consider it as X? The food supplement needed for 12 cows. Let the food supplement needed for 12 cows be X. This is a direct proportion. In direct proportion, the ratio remains constant. Now 13 kg 500 gram, you can write it as 13.5. 13 kg 500 gram, you can write it as 13.5. So 13.5, okay. That is for 9 cows. So 9 cows, 13.5, and how much will be needed for 12 cows? So you are considering that is 12 cows require X amount. This will be the ratios. Okay. 9 cows require 13.5 kg, that 13 and a half. For 12 cows require X. Now you cross multiply and you get the answer. Fourth one, the cost of 12 quintals of soybean is 36,000. How much will 8 quintals cost? The cost of 12 quintals will be 36,000. How much will 8 quintals cost? Now 12 quintals cost this much. So 8 quintals will cost little less than that. So one quantity decrease, other quantity also decrease. One increase, the other one also increase. This is a direct proportion, isn't it? So let the cost of 8 quintals be X. This is a direct proportion. In direct proportion, the ratio remains constant. And what is your ratio? 12 quintals cost 36,000. 12 quintals cost 36,000. Therefore, 8 quintals cost X. This is what you are considered as X. So 8 quintals cost X. Now you cross multiply, get the value of X. Similarly, the last one, two mobiles cost 16,000 rupees. How much will be required by 13? 2 cost 16,000. So surely 13 will cost much more than that. So the cost of 13 mobiles be X. Let the cost of 13 mobiles be X. This is a direct proportion. Therefore, the ratio remains constant. Now, what is the ratio over here? Number of mobiles to the cost. 2 upon 16,000 equal to 13 upon X. Please remember, in all these word problems, you have to write the concluding statement. That is, from whatever we are considering it as X. From there, we have to form the concluding statement. I don't think there will be a difficulty in this. What we have done is direct proportion. In direct proportion, if one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases. If one quantity decreases, that is, suppose I am purchasing 10 books costing 100 rupees, and if I have to buy only 5 books, it will cost 50 rupees. So number of books increases, cost increases. Number of books decreases, cost decreases. If one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases. This is a direct proportion. Okay. Such proportions, the ratio remains constant. That is very important. Ratio remains constant. So that is the steps. Whatever we are supposed to find out, consider it as X. Then you mention whether this is a direct proportion. Therefore, ratio remains constant. Write the ratios and get the value of X. Okay, please complete your homework.